Well, welcome back, Lex and Sheila.
Thank you.
And when we left off last, we come to an arrangement or an agreement of what Lex you would do with Byron and Sheila what you would do, and how Kennedy would be fitting into this. Lex, can I start with you? Is that all right with you, Sheila? For
yes.
Okay.
Well.
Lex, how did it go with you and Byron when you told him that you'd meet him outside and that how you wanted to cover it? So I'll let you tell me how it went.
Well, when I rang him, and I said, look, we'll arrange to come, for us to meet up on the Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And and I said, look, I'll come and pick you up, and he sort of, asked, well, don't you want me to come to the house? And I said, look, I've been to see our counsellor, and she said it best, especially for Sheila and Kennedy, that I meet you
and
outside.
Also Byron.
Yeah. And Byron too. And look, he was really good with it. He said, yeah, that's no problems. He said, I understand they probably don't want me being there at this stage. So he was really good about it. He was actually cool about it, really.
So how did the outing go?
It was really good. We went to this show, the car show.
Oh, good.
And it was like a boat and a car show. So, and he likes boats and he likes racing cars and stuff like that. So yeah, it was good. We joked and we laughed and we walked around and looked at some of the boats and thought this would be great when we all go out there on the one day and so it went really, really well, and we stopped and had a coffee at the little cafe place that was near it. And I got to know him. I think it helped him as well to express himself more than being, in the house with, Sheila and Kenny. Not that he didn't like them, but I think he was more able to express himself more to me, which was good. So I found out some things. He's an apprentice.
Apprentice to what?
Electrician.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So, and I did ask about his relationship with Vanessa, and he says, they did have a good relationship. She married, so his stepdad was really good. He was an electrician, so he sort of followed in his footsteps. And it wasn't until later that he sort of had a niggling feeling that Robert wasn't his dad. So yeah, he just asked her and she told him the truth, and then lo and behold, I get a letter. So
from him, from Byron, or from
it was from actually the courts, because he went to the courts to find out.
Yeah.
So I got a letter from the courts, and that was a bit, that
How
was
did
the
you
shock.
feel about that?
Well, it was a shock. Yeah. And he said, it was funny, he said, Mum said that, she didn't think, because it was only a one night stand, sorry Sheila, but, and she didn't think that she would fall pregnant that easily. And he said, I know it sounds silly, Sheila, but sorry, but, he said, you must have had a good swimmer, Dad. So, so we joked about these things, and it was good that he could understand, like, where we were coming from, sort of thing. So, but no, we had a really good day out, and and it was hard for me to come home and tell Sheila about the good day that we did have. But you said, be honest, and and I told her, we had a great day and all this, and we done what we done, and we've had a coffee and we got to know each other better, and I think Sheila was quiet, but I think she understood that it was best that I think she understood. She never really told me, that it was best that we done it outside of the home. So, but I felt good, and I hope that Sheila felt good, and hope Kennedy felt good, and we did make a date with Kennedy.
And how did that go with Kennedy?
That went really good, don't you think?
I think it, yes, under circumstances, I think it's still a long way to go, but I think it was the beginning of something, I feel.
So what would you say overall, that first outing with Byron, what would you say brought you the best outcome with it?
we got closer, a little closer, I think, yeah.
And you shared more information.
Yeah, we did.
Because the atmosphere was more congruent for that.
Yeah, and it wasn't so tense.
Yes. And you didn't have to watch what he said and what he did.
And he was, I mean, he is a very respectful young man.
He sounds it.
Yes. So, you know, when he was in our house, I mean, I know he was respectful to Sheila and to Kennedy as well. But I felt that we both needed that.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
And Sheila, thank you very much for that.
Yeah,
Lex.
thank you.
Sheila, what sort of emotions did you experience when you knew that Lex and Byron were spending a couple of hours together?
There was mixed emotions initially.
Yes.
Because Lex went out on his own to see his son and excluded both Kennedy and myself. And I mean, that was a little bit of a hurdle I had to get over.
Yes.
But I came to understand that he had to get to know his son, I guess. So I believe he is a respectable, he's been very respectful to me as well when he's been in the home and to Kennedy, which is quite good. He's also only 20 years of age and he has got himself an apprenticeship. So I feel that there could be grounds for something more, but I think it'll have to be very slow.
Oh, totally.
And it'll take time for him to integrate.
Yes, it will.
Because he's had his lifestyle, we've had ours. And for the two to meet, it's going to be a little bit of a hassle for a little while, but I think he is a respectful person.
But there's also a situation there that's caused a conflict here.
Yes.
And that is what you've come for, is the resolution of this conflict.
So I feel that it's starting to link up.
Yeah, baby steps,
and
isn't it?
It is baby steps, but and I think Kennedy is starting to realise that there is somebody else in Lex's life, not necessarily in mine as yet, but I guess it will be. It's looking to be complete sometime down the track, but it's going to take a little while, of course.
Of course, Now, what were some of the emotions that you said you experienced?
Well, first of all, it was a bit of jealousy because we usually did family things together, and this time he was off on his own. I probably was a little bit selfish in that, but that's the way it was. And
they're feeling they're yours.
Sort of, yes. It initially it was jealousy. And then when he came back and said what a good day he had, didn't help a little bit. And I thought,
how did you take that when you told him that?
Well, as I said, to think that he went out on his own and had a good time without Kennedy or myself. It was a little bit hard, but then I guess when I had thought it out a little bit, I thought, well, he's got to get to know his son before he can integrate into the family. And as Lex said, that it is baby steps, and it is his son, I guess. So we'll just have to try and go through that. But initially, it was a bit of a shock and jealousy, but I'll have to get over that.
But it's also rebuilding the trust again.
Yes.
And this way you're allowing him to prove to you that he can be trusted again.
Yes, because he went out and he said what they had done. Basically, hour by hour.
That's right.
You know, so
you know that he's still including you, and he's proving to you that he can be trusted. And also, too, you're allowing yourself to engage in these emotions that you have, that are all very normal emotions.
I guess they were, but see, it's a little bit hard at the time to think that he would go out and enjoy himself on his own without Kennedy or I.
I mean, I felt guilty going, because I've always gone, you know, with Sheila
with the family
and Kennedy, or you know, when Sheila's been at school and I've got a day off, you know, Sheila and I will go and have lunch together. So it's always been us. You know, and then for me to go out and do what I'd done, I felt really guilty because I wasn't taking them with me.
Okay, stop there. Okay, Lex, have you ever gone out one time caught up with the boys.
No,
Any particular reason why not?
because I just loved coming home. I mean, I knew Sheila was home waiting for me, and
Family time,
she always
wasn't
had
it?
a home cooked meal, you know, waiting for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the house was spotless. Kennedy was laughing and giggling in her bedroom, you know, talking on the phone with her friends. And it was
Friends,
just a lovely atmosphere to come home to.
So that's what you
and
want
I
to do.
felt
Yeah.
I didn't need to go anywhere else.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
And that's
But the point is too, sometimes, you know, even you, Sheila, do you ever go out sometimes on your own or maybe with the girlfriends and have a coffee?
no, very, very seldom, because as I said, I was quite happy being the housewife with and looking after the house and being there for when Kennedy came home.
Yeah.
And being there for when she invited her friends around. And,
Yeah.
and of course, when Lex came home from work, we had a sort of an enjoyable time.
Yeah.
You know, when he came home from work, and I just sort of filled my days with family things, basically.
So what sort of interest do you have outside of your marriage with Lex?
We used to go, as you say, to lunch or something, and sometimes it depends on the weather. Go for a drive. Of course, I had Kennedy's netball on a Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
Yeah,
But what sort of interest do you have
it was basically
outside, away from Lex? Is there any interest you have?
not really,
or,
because
or any
no, it's
crafts or
Oh,
arts?
she loves
I do a bit
knitting.
of craft and
Yeah.
knitting,
Okay. She
that
loves
sort
it.
of thing. But
Yeah.
that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, family first,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
really, and no, I didn't go for very much, really. Just spent a bit of time knitting and a little bit of craft here and there. But by the time I sort of looked after a teenage child
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
you know, catered for her needs,
Grumpy
etc.
husband sometimes. coming
Yeah,
home and
well, not very
dealing
often,
with customers.
really. Lex.
No,
Not
yeah,
very
no,
often,
no, not
but
very often.
No, but I mean,
Yeah.
it was just sort of basically family orientated.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how do you is that something you want to encourage?
Yes.
Continue?
Well,
You want to continue?
Oh,
encourage
well, as I said before, we had 20 years and it's been quite enjoyable, quite happy.
Yeah.
And why throw that away if we
Mhm.
can work through these issues and get back to where we possibly
Yeah.
were with an extra family
An extra,
member?
yeah.
Yes.
I'm questioning this because I want to hear what your thoughts are and what you tell yourselves what you want. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so now what we're going to do, okay, if that's the case. All right, so would you like to see that happen again next week with Byron? Maybe you can choose a different outing, whatever, or
Yeah.
would you like to
Yeah,
do it again?
Yeah, I said, you know, what would you like to do next time we catch up?
What did
And he
you say?
said, well, he said, look, I'm flexible. Just, you know, we'll just decide on the day.
Yeah, play it by ear.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah, and we both feel good about it. So.
Okay, and is Kennedy looking forward to the next outing you two spending?
Oh yes, we because I let Sheila decide where we were going to go
Yeah.
last time.
Where did you decide to go?
Well, we thought we might just go for a drive, a bit of a picnic because the weather's nice. this
It
time
was,
of
yeah.
year.
So,
So we thought we just might do that and have just a family time together away from the home.
yeah.
Okay, and how's
Yeah.
Kennedy feel about that?
Well, we've often done that before,
But
haven't
hang on,
we?
well, has
Actually, I think
what
she
did
wanted to bring
Kennedy-
a friend of hers, didn't she?
She did, yeah.
Yeah, she wanted
Yeah.
to bring a friend
well,
with her.
who's her friend?
One of
Melissa.
the girlfriends.
Well,
From school.
Is there a problem with that?
No,
No, no, no, no, no, no, no,
Good.
no,
Yeah.
no.
No. Yeah.
I think that's a good start.
Uh-huh.
She'd like
Okay.
to have a friend with
Okay,
her.
good.
Yeah.
Because in that way, you know, as she's 14, she wants to
Yes.
sort of have more of her own age group around her.
Yep.
Also,
That's right.
and she still wants to be with her mum and dad. But the point is, okay, so that's what you've planned.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now that's good. Now that's working out admirably, actually. Actually, you two are really working. You really. How do you feel that how you've come in the last 2 or 3 weeks?
Little way forward, do you think?
Yeah, I
think
think
so.
yeah.
Yes.
I feel, you know, for myself, I think Sheila and I are getting a little bit closer again. I mean, I know it's not back to the way it was
No.
before
It's gonna take a while.
Byron came into the picture,
Mm.
but I feel we're getting close again, and you know, and yeah, and I'm feeling good, and yeah.
And how do you feel the honesty is between you, being honest and being upfront? And sometimes, you know, honestly does hurt. It causes pain, but then it's how we deal with that pain.
Yes.
Okay, and how is it you're noting how you're feeling about different? How is that working with you in your journal?
Working in the journal, and it does help because if I have any frustrations, it's written down and it's out there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
And
you can see it for what it is.
Yes. And I feel that it does help
That's
to
excellent.
write it down and to admit.
Yeah.
Instead of having it at the back of your mind all the time, you've got it out in the front, and then
And then we can.
Then you can work through it. Can't
Yes.
you?
Yes. Now we know it's there and it's real, so you've got to do something about it.
Yeah.
So you have to.
And I know Sheila's felt that way, without her not telling me.
Yeah, exactly. And she hasn't been open with it. Yeah, I gather that. Now, what I would like to do, Sheila, with you now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what I'd like you to do, Sheila, next week,
Yes.
and probably for the next couple of weeks, right? I want you and Kennedy to go somewhere just together for you two.
Yes.
How does that? Now, not something that just you think that you want to do. It's something that you and Kennedy would like to do together.
Mhm.
How does that sound? Take for an hour or 2 hours or something.
Well, that'd be great. I think. I
Yes.
think that she wouldn't mind because we've got quite a reasonable relationship, and I'm
That's
pretty
good.
sure that
Okay.
these
She would
days,
love
mum and
that,
daughter,
yeah.
I
Okay,
think
well,
she would.
you organise with Kennedy something that you both want, not what Kennedy wants and not just what you want. Something that you know that Kennedy, you and Kennedy would like to do together. It's a mother and daughter situation. Lex has got a father and son
Yes.
situation going,
Yeah.
right? So your mother and daughter needs to have something together. This way we can then and not only that, you'll probably find that Kennedy will start opening up more to you about, Mum, how do you feel about Byron being around here? At the moment, she doesn't know what to ask, but she doesn't know who to ask what.
I can understand that too, because
Okay.
it was very hard for me to comprehend, let alone.
And also
Or
too, are you
14-year-old.
aware that you've been harbouring these emotions and these feelings towards Lex and Byron, and actually been projecting them onto Kennedy without you realising it?
I probably have, but
Yeah.
I haven't realised.
So she's
So
she'll be picking up your feelings.
she has
And-
done, I think.
Yes, and also too, if you and Kennedy spend some time together, and try to be, as supportive towards Lex as possible, but also try to be as honest with Kennedy as possible. Because not when, it's not if, it's when.
It's when.
She's going to start asking you some questions. How do you feel about this, Mum? That's what these are the sort of things. But at the moment, she's not going to ask them because she doesn't know who to ask, and she's afraid that. See, at the moment, she doesn't know what's going to be happening in between her mum and dad.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So,
Well, we don't know.
so she
We're-
doesn't
we're
want to
working
upset
through
anybody.
ourselves.
She doesn't want to upset anybody, just in case she tips the balance somehow. But these are not thoughts I don't think she's being congruent about, and also being, cognitively thinking. It's just that she's quite. I think she'd be quite afraid about what for her is the outcome going to be here. So if you and her go on together to let her know that everything's fine, but give her that opportunity to start asking you some of the questions that you can guarantee there's going on in that head of hers.
Yeah.
Well, I can imagine.
Yes.
I can imagine.
I know, and she's not going to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
All right?
I get it. Yes. Yes.
So this way you're in a neutral situation, but at the same time be very aware that you don't sort of set up a triangle.
Yeah. Yeah.
A triangle is that mum and Kennedy against dad,
Yeah.
or dad and Byron
Byron
against
against-
Kennedy and mum.
Yeah.
But avoid the triangle because that's not going to help you work out your issues and move on to a new way of evolving in those issues, right?
Yep.
And so this is what, but at the same time, if if Kennedy wants to say she wants to be able to say some, have some thoughts about her dad, recommend her, Kennedy, tell your dad, I'm staying out of this, sweetheart. Tell your dad how you
because
feel.
she has had a very good relationship with
Yeah,
David, hasn't
yeah.
she?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You want
so-
her to teach her to be honest with dad,
Yeah. No, that's good.
okay?
Yeah. I
So
will.
don't get caught up in the triangle here.
No.
Be aware of that triangle, because that's where the triangles, they can cause people from moving forward. When people get stuck in a triangle, they don't move forward. All they're doing is talking about each other's persons, and they're not dealing with the real issue. Okay? And at the moment, Kennedy's not dealing with it because she doesn't know what to deal with.
Yeah.
Well, it took me quite a while to try and deal with it, let
exactly.
alone a 14-year-old.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you and
So-
Kennedy go out together one day, even if it's after school. Maybe go to the mall. Go shopping.
Yeah.
Go and
Oh,
have
she
a
loves shopping,
have a
doesn't she?
Yeah,
Surely.
what girl, 14-year-old, doesn't like
We have
shopping?
an open check from Dad.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. There we go. But see, these are the things that the mum and daughter can do together. You can go to the mall, and I don't know if she likes milkshakes or whether she likes juices, whatever.
At the moment, it's juices.
It's juices. Well, there
And
you go.
it's diet juices.
Well, there you go. She's watching her figure.
She's slim already.
Yeah,
I don't know
exactly.
why
Of
she-
course she would be.
But they all are.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. So, have a shopping day, have a sit down at the mall, have the juice, whatever, and then enjoy and let her see that she can have a relationship with her mother, who is encouraging her to reunite
Right,
with her father in that relationship. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
Very good. It does sound great.
Good. Okay.
Hopefully it won't take long, but it may take a while.
Look,
Oh,
accept
Yes.
the fact that
Yeah.
it's going to it's a process.
yeah.
Yes.
Right? You are relearning new ways of communicating an issue that has never been worked through. And also too, you've got all sorts of other things that come in here to play. You've gone through grieving, remember? You've gone through an enormous amount of grief and death that you probably haven't processed. And then you've got this coming on, and that and it is constantly being pushed aside. And your emotions and your feelings are being pushed aside. No one's been talking about it. Now you're talking about them.
Yes.
Yeah,
And it's working. Do you agree it's working?
Yes.
it's starting to work.
Starts,
Yeah, it is. We've got
Yeah.
a way to go. You
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
got-
Oh,
but
sure.
It's
we
not
can see-
finished.
You know,
No,
Sheila
we-
and I, like I said before, it is baby steps.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
We get
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
It's starting.
And you can see that you
Yeah.
both have an enormous respect and love for one another.
Oh,
You
do.
also,
Love
you,
you.
and also,
You do.
yeah, you do. And you have a wonderful daughter. And by the
She
looks
is.
of things, you are going to end up, Sheila, even with you, you are going to end up somewhere long term, with another addition to a family, a son. Maybe that this is in time, Sheila. This is at the moment. I recognise and understand you don't see this happening at the moment with Byron. But at the same time, look, it might only ever be a relationship between Lex and Byron. But that's okay.
As long as I can cope with it.
Exactly. But you need to know how you can work through these processes and learn a new way of adapting and also working through things that you didn't know how to do before.
That's quite right. That's why we're here, isn't it?
Yeah,
You can
exactly.
help us.
Definitely.
Okay, well, let's organise. Would you like to come in next week?
Yes.
I think it might be an idea.
yeah,
okay, good.
Is it okay?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Work-wise.
Work-wise,
Yes.
good. Yeah.
Okay, good. Well,
Yeah.
Monday seems to be a good day.
It is. Yeah.
And 11 o'clock seems to be a good
Good
time.
time.
Yeah, okay, let's not make it again for next Monday, 11 a.m.
Mhm.
And now, okay, Sheila, I'll recap that you and Kennedy are going to have a day out
Day,
together.
yes.
Well, not a day, but a couple of hours, whether it's after school or it's a one day during the week you picked. And you and Kennedy have a day together. And you're going to, and remember, and always keep in mind that you're not going to allow a triangle to develop between
That's
you and
right.
Kennedy against Lex and against
Byron, yes.
it's just, if Kennedy wants to say something about her dad, you'll just let her know, go and talk to your dad about it.
Yes.
And at the same time, you're going to let us talk. You're not going to shut her up. But if there's something that really she doesn't like, you're going to say, well, you need to go and talk to Daddy about it then. And if she says she's afraid, and just say, okay, all right then, I'll let Daddy know that you need to talk to him, and then and then you can talk to that.
Yep.
Because it needs a communication between the two people who are involved.
Yep.
Okay, yes, I know it involves you, but Kennedy needs to get her thoughts out.
Well, she's always had a reasonable relationship with you,
Yeah.
hasn't she?
And that's good.
Yes,
Been a good one.
yes, been a good one.
So you need to encourage that, and also too, this way you don't get bought into the trap,
No.
do you? And you're not going to be playing the game between
No.
Kennedy and Lex, between Kennedy and Byron,
No.
and between Byron and Lex,
Mm.
and Lex is not going to allow all that happen with you.
Yep.
Okay? Because that's when your development breaks down, that's when it becomes dysfunctional. Nobody wins, everybody loses.
Yep.
This is what we don't want to happen.
No, you don't
No.
want that to happen.
No.
Well, we'll see you, the two of you. Now, what I'm going to suggest is next week you two come alone, and then we'll see how your day out or our time out we went with Kennedy, how that developed. Then after that, then we'll work on bringing Kennedy in between the three of you two,
Yep.
Yeah,
and then we'll see how Kennedy's
Come
coming
good
along
along.
with this.
Okay.
Okay.
And then, we'll work on that first. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Lex. Thank you, Sheila, for coming,
Thank
and
you,
I'll
Jo.
see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.